Welcome aboard the Ear to There podcast, the podcast that'll help you vacation like a pro in any Disney destination. For those of you standing, please sit down and hold on throughout our journey and get ready to learn how to have the time of your life. And now, here's your host, Phil Gramlich.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ear to There podcast. I'm your host, Phil Gramlich. I'm also the owner and operator of Ear to There Travel, which is a Disney specialized travel agency. It's my goal in life. See, I took it even a little further this week, but it's my goal in life to take away the stress and anxiety of planning a Disney trip so you can focus on the fun things like having a good time with your friends, your family, and enjoying the magic. You can find this podcast, my blog, or request a free, no-obligation quote over at eartotheretravel.com. This is episode number 28 for the week of August 8th, 2016. Now grab a drink, grab a snack, and as a famous mouse once said, on with the show.
Your attention, please. The Walt Disney World Railroad now boarding for a scenic trip around the Magic Kingdom. Board.
From the moment I first walked into the Magic Kingdom as a 12-year-old kid in 1991, I knew I would need to be in that park as many days as possible for the rest of my life. In 1998, I had the chance to interview for the Walt Disney World College program. I actually applied to be a custodial host because what I really wanted to do was be those guys on the rollerblades in the Magic Kingdom, flying around, sweeping up popcorn and all that kind of fun stuff. So I didn't actually end up getting the rollerblade job, which was a little bit of a bummer, but I did end up over in Africa in Disney's Animal Kingdom a couple months after it opened. I had a great time keeping Africa litter-free, and although I've never gotten the chance to work in the Magic Kingdom, I've seriously lost count of the number of days that I've spent in that park over the years. When I was still a local and living in Celebration, my wife, well, then she wasn't my wife, she was just my girlfriend, I guess. We would stop by Magic Kingdom once or twice a week just to grab lunch, to ride whatever attraction at the shortest line. That was well before FastPass Plus came out. But I know a lot of people haven't gotten a chance to ride these attractions. They haven't been on every single Magic Kingdom attraction like I have. And you might be wondering, well, which ones are the best? Which ones are the worst? Which ones should I definitely ride? Which ones should I skip? That's why this week I'm bringing to you my ultimate ranking of the attractions in the Magic Kingdom. So we're going to start with number 37 and work my way all the way down to 1. So without further ado, hold on, here we go with number 37. Okay, number 37 for me. Number 37, my least favorite attraction in the Magic Kingdom has to be Stitch's Great Escape. I mean, it kind of replaced an iconic ride for me in the extraterrestrial alien encounter, which I admittedly was a little out of place in the Magic Kingdom, but was a great classic attraction. Stitch, unless you like chili dogs and not fully working audio animatronics, this might be one you want to skip on your first, second, or next trip. Number 36 for me, I'm going to go with the Adventureland Detractor, the Magic Carpets of Aladdin. I just think the ride isn't awful by any means. It's a spinner. It's Dumbo in Adventureland, basically. It kind of ruins the immersive nature of Adventureland for me. I think you really should just ride this ride if Dumbo is an hour plus wait, if the Astro Orbiter is an hour plus wait. It's just not one that I frequently do on trips to Walt Disney World. Okay, so from Adventureland for number 36, I'm going over to Frontierland for number 35, and it's the Frontierland Shootin' Arcade. So this one is more of a game than an attraction, but it's listed on Magic Kingdom's attractions list on the guide map, so I included it in this list. It's fun. It's, you shoot, it's the infrared guns that you shoot at the targets that are, in front of you. It's not something that you're going to run to as soon as the park opens, but if you're strolling through Frontierland and looking for something to do, it's not a bad way to spend a little bit of time. All right, so that was number 35. Number 34, I'm going with the opening day attraction over in Adventureland, the Swiss Family Treehouse. Listen, Swiss Family Treehouse is a classic. It's been there since day one. It's really a fun thing to walk through. If you're familiar with the movie Swiss Family Robinson, you can see a lot of cool replicas of the props from that movie. It honestly needs some updating. I like what they did with the Tarzan's treehouse out in Disneyland. They could probably do something like that here. But if you've never done it, you should walk through it just to check it off your list. Okay, on to number 33. And yes, this is another Magic Kingdom attraction. It's on the guide map. It's listed as an attraction, so that's why I'm ranking it in the list. It's the Casey Jr. Splash and Soak Station. Listen, if you're really hot and you need to cool off, this is the place to go. You and your kids can get absolutely drenched in this area. I mean, it might not be exactly what you're looking for if you're there in January or February, but if you're there during the summer and you're hot and you're walking around and, Dole Whips just aren't enough to cool you down, run through Casey Jr. Splash and Soak Station. It is kind of fun. And as I've said in the podcast before, the frequent contributor to the podcast and guest, Chuck Rodriguez, loves to go through and scare all the little kids. So you should try it out. Just try not to scare any kids while you're running through there. Okay, on to number 32. I'm going over to Tomorrowland for the Tomorrowland Speedway. Okay, so my kids love this attraction because they get to drive cars. I like it. Honestly, though, it needs some updating as well. The one thing I always hear about this one is it should have a Cars theme. I kind of like that idea. Maybe repaint the cars, make it like a Cars theme. I mean, honestly, Tomorrowland isn't exactly true to the theme any longer. There's Monsters, Inc. in there. There's Buzz Lightyear in there. Stitch is in there. It's really not a true Tomorrowland in a sense as it was supposed to be. So why not put a Cars, overlay on the Tomorrowland Speedway? My good advice for this one, though, too, is to ride it during a parade. You won't have to wait out in the sun as much because I'm sure your kids will want to ride it as soon as they find out they can drive a car. All right, number 31, over in Tomorrowland, we were just in Tomorrowland, so we're not going very far. It's like a stone's throw away, but is the Astro Orbiter. This sounds like I'm picking on Tomorrowland a little bit because I already had a couple of those on this list, but I'm not. It's a spinning ride like Dumbo, like the Magic Carpets of Aladdin. But the cool thing is this one has really, really great views, especially if you go on at night. So ride this one at night when it's a little bit cooler and when you get really cool views of Cinderella Castle and Tomorrowland. It's a really good time to ride it. Just don't eat a big meal before you ride it. I'm just saying, you want to be careful. Number 30, I'm going with the Mad Tea Party, which if you haven't ridden it, it's in Fantasyland. It's the pretty famous teacup style ride. So you can call them the teacups if you want, but you really get spinning very, very quickly on the Mad Tea Party vehicles. I'm kind of dizzy just thinking about it. I'm not someone who loves that feeling of spinning until you feel like you're going to get sick. My kids love it. They want to do it every trip. And if you're looking for a quick ride, something that'll take, 3 to 5 minutes of your time, there's never a line. So give that one a shot. Number 29, Main Street Vehicles. Okay, these are the Omnibus, which is the big double-decker green bus that drives up and down Main Street. The horse-drawn streetcar, the jitney, the fire engine. They're really fun. They're really nostalgic. They kind of, go way back to the days of Disneyland in 1955. It's a nice alternative to walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. Yes, now I feel like breaking out in the song. I'm not going to. Maybe at least not this early in the podcast. If you want to ride one of these classic vehicles, though, you have to kind of get there early in the morning. As the crowds pick up as the morning goes on and you get into the afternoon, they're on a street an awful lot less than they are in the morning. So if you want to ride the Main Street Vehicles, get there early. First thing, take the horse-drawn trolley down Main Street. You'll love it. It's really a cool way to see the park. All right, number 28. Yeah, we're going back to Tomorrowland again. I told you, it's a mishmash kind of a land. And I'm going with Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. This is, I'm saying it's number 28 on the list. It's a great attraction. I really enjoy it. I love that it's live, that there's live performances, that there's so much guest interaction. So this is not a slight on this attraction at all. It's just that there are obviously 27 better in my opinion. So one of my jokes that has actually gotten through on this one, my daughter we texted it when we were there last time. If you're not familiar, you actually get to text the show jokes, and the monster performers may use your joke in the show. So the joke that we sent in was, you ready for this? Because there's a lot of cheese coming at you right now. Why does the seagull fly by the sea? Give up. Because if he flew by the bay, he'd be a bagel. I love that one. Okay. So it's a great show. The jokes are corny but fun. And it's really, really fun if you get to be that guy. And if any of you guys have seen this show, you know who that guy is. It's a lot of fun. I'm bald. I've been Mike Wazowski on the show on several occasions. So it's always fun for me because I'm the one bald guy in there that always gets picked on. All right, so number 27, we're going to Frontierland and Tom Sawyer Island. Not Tom Sawyer's Island, Tom Sawyer Island. So this one is just kind of a big playground for kids and for adults alike. You can go over there, you can run around. They don't do the paintbrushes anymore. They used to do a thing where if you found the cast members would hide paintbrushes, and if you found them, you got a fast pass. So they don't do that anymore. But it's still a great place to go over. They run around, especially if you have little kids. They can run around, do the barrel bridge. That's a lot of fun. You burn off some extra energy over there. So get over there, Tom Sawyer's Island. It's oh my God, I called it Tom Sawyer's Island. See, even I stink. Tom Sawyer Island. Get over there and do it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, number 26, the Liberty Bell Riverboat. Here's a confession, guys, and a bad one at that. The first time I ever rode this attraction was like last year, like last August. I had ridden the Mark Twain in Disneyland a bunch of times, so I thought they were pretty similar, but they're not. The ride's very different. The Liberty Bell is a real working steamboat. It's very cool. Really great views of the attractions that you wouldn't get if you weren't on the ship. You get to see, the Haunted Mansion from a different view. You get to see Big Thunder Mountain from a different view. Very, very cool if you're kind of an amateur photographer like I am. So yeah, 26 is the Liberty Bell Riverboat. Number 25, in Frontierland, the Country Bear Jamboree. All right, so this is an opening day Magic Kingdom attraction. Still going very, very strong. Still packing the house almost every show. Entertaining people for decade after decade. I love it. I have a greater appreciation for this one now than I ever have before having little kids. Watching it through their eyes, it's fantastic. They laugh hysterically at every bear. It's great. And there's never a wait. You can walk right in almost every time of day. Great show, 25, Country Bear Jamboree. Check it out. Okay, number 24, I'm going over to Storybook Circus for the Barnstormer featuring Goofy as the Great Goofini. That is the actual title of the attraction. That is a mouthful. The ride is a lot of fun for kids. It's a great, great, great first roller coaster for your little ones if they've never done one before. I took my daughter there when she was 4, and she just flipped. She thought it was awesome. She loved it so much that we took our 3-year-old twins on our last trip, and they flipped out. They loved it. Thought it was awesome. So, yeah, go do that if you have little kids. Or even if you're an adult. You're an adult, you want to ride the Barnstormer, go ahead. It's fun. It's got a little hill. My wife screams her head off on that ride. It's hilarious. She's the only 30-something that screams and almost gets into tears on the Barnstormer. So that's number 24. Number 23, the Town Square Theater. When you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World, which character do you want to meet right away, right? Who do you plan on meeting? Yes, it is. I know who you're thinking. It's Bernard from The Rescuers. No, it is not. It is not Bernard from The Rescuers. You're thinking you want to meet Mickey Mouse. So, all right. So, look, there's plenty of places to meet Mickey in Walt Disney World. But here's the thing. There's only one place in Walt Disney World where you can meet Mickey Mouse and he will talk to you and even sometimes say your name, which is very, very cool. You get to talk to him. He talks back. He tells jokes. He responds to your questions. It's just a really neat experience. Although I would say get fast passes for this one because it's a long wait, especially when the park first opens in the morning. People make that right to get right in line for Mickey at the Town Square Theater there. And yeah, that could be a long wait. Right next door to Mickey there is also the Tinkerbell meet and greet. So you can get fast passes for either one. Tinkerbell's also great. My daughters both love it. My son kind of grudgingly goes in there and gives her a hug and a high five. But yeah, so number 23, Town Square Theater. Number 22, all the other meet and greets in the Magic Kingdom. There are a bunch of them, okay? And these are technically attractions, I guess. They're on the guide map. They're listed, so this is why I put them on the list. I'll never forget the memories I have of my kids meeting the princesses, meeting, Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, all those guys at the Magic Kingdom. You can meet all of them. You can meet Ariel at her grotto. You can meet the princesses, including Rapunzel, Cinderella, and then they have the rotating princesses at Princess Fairytale Hall. And over in the Flower Garden by Cinderella Castle, you can meet Merida from Brave. So make sure to use FastPass Plus to meet the princesses over in Princess Fairytale Hall. And or for Ariel as well at her grotto in New Fantasyland. The meet and greets are a lot of fun. The memories that you have, make sure you take your camera, your iPhone. You can take video. It's fantastic. Number 21. Okay, I don't know if I had this too high on the list or too low on the list. But number 21 on my list is the Hall of Presidents. Now, it's a classic. It's a great attraction, especially if you've never seen it. The President Obama audio animatronic figure is really, really super lifelike. Kind of creepy, actually, when he moves around and talks. And it's so advanced. It's very, very cool to see. And another thing that I really love in this attraction, if you haven't been on it in a while or been on it, it's not a ride, it's a show. But if you haven't been in the theater for a while and you haven't seen it, when one of the presidents is up and talking, take a look at all the presidents that are kind of sitting around, not supposed to be doing anything. You'll see them fidgeting. They'll be like adjusting their clothes, whispering to the president that's next to them. Very, very cool effect. It's a really cool show. So I'd say, if you haven't done it especially, that's one that's definitely worth checking out. And it's a classic. Number 20 for me, in Tomorrowland, Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. It's another one of those ones that you have to do at least one time. Walt Disney himself created this attraction, or had a hand in creating this attraction for the 1964-65 World's Fair in New York. It's a little dated, but it's pretty neat to sit in a theater that rotates. I think that's very, very cool. You actually sit in the audience and rotate around a series of stages. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a rotating theater. The show, while dated, I think it stands up. It holds up over all these years, after all these years. And there may be no more iconic song than There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. I'm not going to sing it. It's a Sherman Brothers song. It's awesome. Go check out Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress on your next trip or your first trip or whatever trip. Okay, number 19 in the Magic Kingdom is The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Here's the deal with Winnie the Pooh. Disney fans freaked out when it was announced that Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was going to be replaced by The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. It's a lot like the recent when Maelstrom got taken out and replaced by the Frozen Sisters. People weren't happy about it. While Pooh hasn't had the crazy cult-like following of Mr. Toad, it's a cute ride. And yeah, I think I can pull off cute, so we're going to go with that. Every member of the family would like this one, and you can still see Mr. Toad in there. He's still, actually, when you board the attraction, look to your left when the attraction starts, you see Thaddeus Toad handing off the deed of the attraction to Al from Winnie the Pooh, so that's pretty cool. Okay, on to number 18, which is going to be Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. So on episode 9 of the podcast, I actually had the opportunity to interview Rolly Crump. I know I've mentioned that a couple of times. That was a thrill for me. It was one of the coolest interviews I've done because he's a Disney legend, first of all, and he's one of the Imagineers that's most responsible for bringing us the Enchanted Tiki Room as it is now. This show was very close to how it first appeared in Disneyland back when Walt Disney was around in the 60s. So take that into account before deciding if you want to go see the show or not. I'm not so sure it's the perfect, entertainment for teenagers or older kids, but my kids love it. They're at this point, they're 5.5 and my twins are almost 4. They sing the songs, they dance in the aisles, they absolutely love it. So I think it still does hold up very well. And this is another one. It doesn't have a wait, rarely ever has a wait. And it's a true Disney classic. So I think, it's justifiably at number 18 on my list. All right, on to number 17, and it's going to be over in Fantasyland, and it's Mickey's PhilharMagic. In my opinion, this is one of the best 3D shows Disney's ever done. The sights, the sounds, the smell, the music, they really put you right in the middle of the action. The 3D effects are fantastic. It's also another attraction. It doesn't have a long wait again, so you don't have to really fast pass it. It's a good one to do, actually, when you're waiting for your next fast pass time to roll around. You rarely see this one with more than a 20-minute wait, and it's worth it. We do this almost every trip. It's air conditioned. Get in, get out of the heat, watch a great 3D show, and get on with your day. All right, over to number 16 for me. 16 is the Walt Disney World Railroad. So you might disagree with where I place this one. I understand. Some people think it's okay, great. It's transportation. It's not a fantastic attraction in itself. But really, there's nothing quite like seeing the old-fashioned turn-of-the-century engines that are pulling up at a station as you walk toward the Magic Kingdom's entrance. To me, that is like, I'm home. I'm at my favorite place. There's the train, the whistle, the bell, the sound of the steam, everything. I can almost hear it right now as I'm describing it to you. It's fantastic. And is there a more iconic ride in the parks anywhere, in Disneyland and Walt Disney World? Now it's in Tokyo, it's in Shanghai, in Paris. They all have that train that goes around the perimeter of the park. Plus, as I said, it actually is transportation. So when you have tired feet at the end of the day and you're in Frontierland or you're in Storybook Circus, jump on the train, take it to the front of the park. It's a nice way to save your feet. Unless you want your Fitbit to go up and you want to beat your friend or your spouse like my wife and I do, and then don't ride the train, walk. Okay, on to number 15 for me, and that's Prince Charming's Regal Carousel. For me, a day in the Magic Kingdom isn't complete without a spin on really one of the most beautiful carousels left over in anywhere in the world. And actually, here's a cool fun fact. Did you know that the carousel is the oldest attraction in the Magic Kingdom? That's true. It was actually built in 1917 by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company, and it wasn't purchased by the Disney Company until 1967, and where it was refurbished and placed into the Magic Kingdom. All right, so on to number 14 for me, and that's going to be Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin over in Tomorrowland. This is a must-do for my family every single trip, every day that we're in the Magic Kingdom. It's part video game, part spinning attraction. But you control the spinning, so don't worry about, getting sick or feeling dizzy. There's a little joystick that helps you control the spinning on this one. There are some tricks to getting a really high score in this one. I'm not going to really give any away. I will say this. If you see a volcano, shoot at it repeatedly until you can't shoot at it anymore. That's my best tip. But anyone can play on this one. Any age, any height, any size. Anyone can ride. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to see if you can beat the person next to you. So 14 is Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. Number 13, I'm going with Under the Sea, The Journey of the Little Mermaid. All right, so this one follows along with the plot of the 1989 movie, The Little Mermaid, which last week, Ariel was my word of the week, so that's pretty cool. Great music, great audio animatronics, great effects. I think it's a can't miss, really. We do this with my girls and my son every trip. They love it. The interactive queue is also very cool. I mentioned that last week as well. You can, if you don't get a fast pass for this attraction, waiting in line kind of goes by very quickly when you hang out in the interactive queues. That's a lot of fun. Okay, on to number 12. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is number 12. I know people are going to listen to this now and say, wow, that should be up higher on your list. I'm going to make an argument with my last 11 as to why it's not. But the Mine Train completely dominates the landscape in New Fantasyland these days. You can see it from anywhere in the land. It's a little bit more intense than Goofy's Barnstormer, not much more intense. There's a really cool effect where it rocks side to side as you go up and down a hill, so that's pretty neat. If you can handle roller coasters at all, this one's really worth your time. I'd say get a fast pass for it. The waits can get really long, especially in peak times. The audio animatronics that are inside the attraction are crazy well done. Some of the best audio animatronics Disney's ever put out there. And the attraction itself is so well themed, you'll almost forget it's a roller coaster. Yeah, of course I said almost, because let's be for real, it still goes up and down hills. So, okay, on to number 11 for me. Okay, 11 for me, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority, the TTA, or the People Mover. It's just about the furthest thing imaginable from a thrill ride. And unless you're afraid of the dark, which, funny story, we didn't know my son was until we took him on, and it's pitch black, and he was terrified. So if you're afraid of the dark, you might want to skip this one. But it's a fun ride. It's very relaxing. It goes through some air-conditioned rooms. You get to see the inside of Space Mountain. Very, very cool. Bonus tip for this one, ride it at night, because it's completely different at night than during the day. It's very cool to see Tomorrowland lit up underneath you from the People Mover. So check it out. It's very, very fun. All right, so on to number 10. And this one, I think, listen, it's a classic. Number 10, Dumbo the Flying Elephant. This isn't your father's Dumbo, okay? This is one, it's been around, it's been around forever. But when New Fantasyland and Storybook Circus opened up, Dumbo was moved to this location and doubled, right? So there's double the Dumbo. There's 2 attractions now, 2 different, Dumbo attractions. Not only did they add some water effects and some lighting and make it a really cool attraction, especially at night, you don't have to wait in line outside any longer. You go inside, under the big top, in the tent. It's air conditioned. It's a big playground for your kids. They give you a pager, so you don't have to stand in line at all. Just a little bit at the end before you board the attraction. And when the buzzer goes off, your pager goes off, you go to the cast member, you give it to them, you get to go on the attraction. So you get to sit down for a while. Your kids get to run around, climb on stuff, go down slides. It's really a win-win for everybody because it's all in air conditioning. So I'd say definitely go on this one, and that's why it's ranked number 10 for me. Number 9 is in New Fantasyland. Again, it's Enchanted Tales with Belle. So this is much more than a meet and greet, although you do get a chance to meet Belle at the end of the attraction, which is pretty cool. It's an indoor show where kids and adults are picked to participate in the night that Belle and the Beast first fell in love. Very, very, very cool. It's a great attraction. Super, cool animatronics and special effects that I still can't figure out. And I'm not going to go online and have them spoiled for me. So you should check these out as well. And remember, bring your cameras for this one, but no flash photography. I'm letting you know now, because Disney does not like when you break that rule. And because you're going to want to take a lot of pictures, and you don't want a cast member yelling at you every 3 seconds. So, number 9, Enchanted Tales with Belle. It's awesome. It's a very unexpected, very cool show. Number 8, it's a Small World. I think Small World gets a bad rap because of the song, which is a classic song, by the way. But I think it gets a bad rap. People make fun of it. It's made there's jokes made about it. It's a great attraction. It really is. For my family, a day in the Magic Kingdom is never, ever complete without sailing the quote-unquote happiest cruise that ever sailed. If we're up to my kids, we would get up at 7 a.m., get to the Magic Kingdom at park open, and ride Small World all day until the park closed. They love it that much. But if you haven't done it, I don't think you get your Disney fan card until you've ridden It's a Small World. It's a true classic. It goes back to, again, one of those other ones that goes back to this New York 64, 65 World's Fair. And it's pure Disney, pure nostalgia, just a great attraction. And I know I keep saying it. I keep saying great, everything's great, everything's great. And I don't want to be the Disney guy who tells you everything is always awesome. But when I'm in my top 10s, that you're getting that. These are great attractions. Okay, number 7, over to Adventureland and the world-famous Jungle Cruise. Listen, corny jokes, lots of audio animatronic animals, and a lot of jungle natives, including the world-famous Trader Sam, are in this attraction. It's just as much fun as it was back in the day. It's even more fun, I think, because the jokes are extremely corny. They're fun. Especially if you get a skipper who's really into their job, that makes the attraction even better. And while I don't always fast pass this one, I will try to, get in line for it when it's under a 30-minute wait. You can usually catch it either early in the morning or later at night, where it's about 30 minutes or less. So I would say try to do it then. Okay, over to Frontierland for number 6, and that's going to be Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So this one I think is just as good as it was way back in 1991 when I first rode it, and way back when it first opened in Walt Disney World. There's also now a great interactive queue that you get to kind of play around in while you're waiting for your roast. There's also now a great interactive queue that you can enjoy while you're waiting for your coaster car to come in. And if you're a roller coaster fan, you have to give this one a shot. It's pretty tame by roller coaster standards. It's no big hills, no big drops, no upside down, nothing like that. It's just a good old-fashioned classic Disney roller coaster. All right, number 5 on my list is another roller coaster, and it's Space Mountain. So Space Mountain is the original Walt Disney World roller coaster in the dark. It was around way before Rock and Roller Coaster over at Disney's Hollywood Studios were ever dreamed up. And they did a great job on this one. You literally can't see your hand in front of your face as you're whipping around these turns and up and down the little hills and drops, and it's a ton of fun. It's a great roller coaster, classic Disney. And my wife absolutely refuses to ride this one again. She's never done this one with me. I've gotten her to do every other Walt Disney World attraction with me except for this one. But don't let that scare you guys at all. She's kind of a roller coaster. I don't want to say wimp, but she's not someone that's going to do a lot of coasters. So, okay, maybe she is a little bit of a roller coaster wimp. And if no one hears from me after this podcast is released, please just make sure my children are cared for because you heard it. Okay, over to number 4 for me. There's not a lot to say about this one. It's classic Disney. It's Peter Pan's Flight in Fantasyland. There's a reason this attraction still has like a 90-minute wait on an average, on an everyday basis. It's a simple, dark ride. Basically, the most high-tech thing in here is the cars that are driving around the streets of London when you fly over London in the nighttime scene. I mean, it's classic Disney. Where else do you get to fly on a pirate ship, out the Darling Kids nursery window, over the streets of London, all the way into Neverland. It's just a great attraction. And actually, this is one that, even if you don't have the Fast Pass for, you can do now. You don't have to wait very long outside. You get to wait inside and experience the new interactive queue that's there, which is a whole lot of fun. Okay, on to my top 3. So number 3 on my list, and this is where people I think are going to start disagreeing with me, but I'm going with number 3 is the Liberty Square classic, The Haunted Mansion. The Haunted Mansion, this just might be the classic, perfect Disney attraction. The music is amazing. The special effects are, decades old, but are still unmatched anywhere else almost in the Disney parks. The overall feel of the attraction, it creeps you out. It puts you, as soon as you get into the queue, you're in a different time and place completely. I love it. The Haunted Mansion, it's just a little bit creepy, but not as bad as the Eddie Murphy movie that they made. Man, that's terrible. Yikes. But it's a whole lot of fun. I'd suggest being careful, treading a little carefully with young kids, though. I know my kids were a little afraid when they first rode it, so you don't want to ruin your trip, basically. So you know your kid best. You figure it out. If you think they can handle it, it's not very scary. Great attraction. Classic Disney. Just from beginning to end, it's awesome. Okay, number 2 is over in Adventureland, and it's Pirates of the Caribbean. The cool thing about Pirates of the Caribbean is it wasn't an opening day attraction. When Walt Disney World opened in 1971, a little after that, the plan was to make that part of Adventureland something called Thunder Mesa. And that whole story is for another podcast episode because there's so much that was going to go into Thunder Mesa. It was going to be amazing. But the people started coming in, the guests started coming in and saying, where's Pirates? They had seen Pirates at Disneyland in California. They'd heard about it. They wanted Pirates. And the Imagineers, they didn't think that Pirates would fit because it's so close to the Caribbean. Florida is so close to the Caribbean. But the guests spoke. People wanted Pirates of the Caribbean, and they put it in there. And I, for one, am so glad they did. It is, again, you want to talk classic Disney. The lines, the music, the animatronics. I mean, this one was an attraction that inspired movies, that inspired additions to the attraction. That's how iconic Disney it is. So that's why it's number 2 on my list. This ride, it's really, I think it's so incredibly detailed that you catch things on every ride that you didn't see the first, on your last trip through. Just an amazing, fantastic Disney experience. Okay, and we're going on to number 1. Now, here's the thing. No one's ever going to agree with me 100%, but there's only one attraction left in Magic Kingdom. I'm sure you realize that I haven't said it by now. So my number 1 attraction in all of the Magic Kingdom is, drum roll please, Splash Mountain. I honestly think this is the best attraction in the Magic Kingdom, and maybe even in all of Walt Disney World. It's an epic 11-minute flume ride through the Briar Patch that ends with, and this is a spoiler alert, so if you haven't been on this attraction, maybe stop listening right now. It ends with your log zipping down a huge drop at 40 plus miles an hour, while there's a hidden camera that takes a pretty terrible photo of you because your face is most likely reacting to the drop and your stomach being in your throat. But this one has everything you could think of, everything you would want on a classic Disney attraction. Great story. Yep. Catchy music. It's in there. What about some thrills? Yeah, the thrills are there too. Even if you're a little bit hesitant to ride because the drop freaks you out, and I don't really blame you because it could freak you out, you should give it a try. Plus, you don't want to miss out on what everyone else in your group is talking about the entire day. They all ride Splash Mountain. You sit it out, and then all day you're not involved in the conversation. You don't want that to happen to you. But that is why Splash Mountain is my number one attraction in the Magic Kingdom. So there you have it, my ultimate ranking of Magic Kingdom attractions. Now, I did have to rank obviously I had to rank some of these attractions as my least favorite or the least popular, but I'd rather be in line or on one of those attractions than be almost anywhere else on the planet. And these are just the attractions. I didn't even mention the awesome experiences like getting your haircut in a Harmony Barbershop on Main Street, although I don't really need haircuts anymore. The Festival of Fantasy Parade, which is awesome. The Main Street Electrical Parade, which is, again, just an amazing experience, as it's been for decades. Or Wishes, which is the fireworks show nightly, especially during the summer at Magic Kingdom, where you'll still see people tearing up, actually, with that one. Not me, though. It was just really dusty on Main Street the last time I was there. I had something in my eye. Anyway, that's going to do it for my ultimate list of Magic Kingdom attractions. Thank you to my guest, me this week. And thank you so much for listening. And really, I want to know, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I'm going to ask a question on my Facebook page this week. Just do a Google search for Phil at Ear There Travel if you can't find me, or a Facebook search, you'll find my Facebook page. And you tell me, do you agree with my assessment? Do you think Splash Mountain is the number one attraction at Magic Kingdom? Or am I totally nuts and off base? I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thanks again for listening. And if you did enjoy the show, please just tell someone about it. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your guinea pig, tell your hamster. I've seen Secret Life of Pets. They talk to each other. Maybe, who knows, a dog finds out about it, kind of points their owner in the direction of the podcast. Weirder things have happened in life. So thanks again so much for listening. And just remember, there will be a new episode of the Ear to There podcast every Monday morning, as well as an episode of the Walt Disney World Word of the Week every Wednesday morning. So until next time, thanks again. Have a great week. Bye-bye.